Hey guys, it's Gina and welcome back to the Curly Hair Care for Beginners series, and today we're going to be talking all about the different causes of tangles and how you can prevent them. It can be so frustrating when curly hair gets tangled because it is so hard to detangle. If you missed the last video that I did, or one of the previous ones I did in this series, I talked all about how to wash curly hair, and then I did one on how to deep condition curly hair. So you do want to check those out if you want to find out how to actually detangle, how to properly wash your hair to where you don't end up with tons of tangles. So this video I think is the perfect one to follow up with that, because these are ways that you can prevent tangles from actually happening, and maybe you can find out some things that you didn't even think about that could be causing lots of tangles. I especially get tons of tangles underneath the nape of my neck right here, which can be so frustrating because they can lead to breakage, frizz, and a lot of these causes actually are also causes of frizz. So it kind of goes hand in hand, but I do plan on doing another video on how to prevent frizz and different causes of frizz and stuff. So look forward to that soon. You can leave any questions for that video down below and I'll be sure to answer them when I film it. But today we're going to be talking about tangles. So let's go ahead and get started. So no matter what your curl type is, you probably have experienced tangles, especially if you have fine curly hair, or sometimes even if your hair is not very curly and you have more of a wavy texture, you can experience more frizz. And you especially experience a lot of frizz and tangles when your hair is in the transitioning phase. And by that I mean if you have stopped heat styling or chemical damage and stuff like that, and you're trying to get your hair back to its natural state and you want to wear it naturally curly, a lot of people experience lots of tangles, breakage, and stuff during that time because they need to cut their hair. So one of the biggest causes of frizz and tangles is actually having split ends. So when your ends are split, they are super fragile. Oftentimes they're a lot thinner than the rest of the strands. If you look at them very closely, or even if you feel your split ends, they always feel a little bit rough and bumpy, which can cause so many tangles. If you've ever gotten fairy knots, those are those little tiny knots. It almost feels like a little bump on the end of your hair. And if you feel the individual strands, you can feel it. And those are actually when you need a trim. So that's a great way to tell when you need a trim. If you start getting those, if you get a lot of tangles on your ends, if you're not able to separate your curls without it just tangling up, then you probably do need a trim. I get these all the time, and since I do have fine curly hair, it's really prone to split ends. I get split ends so easily, even with the smallest amount of heat. When I diffuse my hair, I try to alternate between hot and cold air, but I still end up with a lot of split ends. It is a struggle for me. I do have quite a bit, especially on the areas of my hair that are highlighted. So I do have some old highlights. I've been trying to grow out my hair and not dye it. I haven't dyed it in months, and so it's growing out to about right here, but I still have some leftover highlights. You can't really see it in this lighting unless I'm outside. But those areas are the driest. They're always the most tangled. They always get the split ends, and that's because that bleach or that dye has broken the bonds of the hair to where they are now weaker. It just makes your hair more damaged and stuff when you do lighten your hair. So I would avoid dyeing your hair and bleaching or lightening your hair when you're in that transition phase. Once you get your hair really healthy, there are ways that you can lighten your hair without damaging it. But for the most part, at least on me, all of the highlighted areas get super tangled. Another common cause of tangles is dry hair. I suffer from dry hair, especially in the winter time. I think I have high porosity hair, and that's a whole nother video, whether if you have high or low or normal porosity hair, but it basically refers to the amount of moisture or the ability for your hair to retain moisture or let moisture go. And my hair, I feel like, gets really dry, and dry hair always ends up more tangly. It's just not as moisturized, so it can bunch up and get like frizzy and tangly and stuff. So I recommend deep conditioning at least once a week. It will totally change your hair, especially if you're in that transitioning phase. It makes the world of difference. I do it every single time, pretty much that I wash my hair, unless I do like a short midweek wash, then I won't deep condition. But I deep condition every single week religiously, and I've noticed a huge difference in my hair. It's just shinier, it's a lot healthier feeling, it's so much softer, and I have less breakage and tangles. So if you want to see my video that I did previously in this series, it's all about how to deep condition, and I break it down really simple, easy to follow ways on how you can deep condition your hair, and I show my great before and after. So another thing that can cause a lot of tangles is when you're not properly washing your hair, and by that I mean a lot of people are used to shampooing their hair. Like if they have straight hair, they have not previously taken care of their curls, they're used to kind of roughing up their hair and just like, you know, scrubbing it and stuff, and you want to be extremely gentle on your hair. You don't want to cause any breakage by causing tangles in the shower. If you watch that video that I did in this series on how to wash curly hair, you will see how I actually recommend conditioning your hair first, and that's a good way to detangle before you go in with your shampoo and just make a bigger mess and make it more tangled and stuff. So I highly recommend trying that. Then when you get out of the shower, I love using a cotton towel like this. This is from Hair Repair, the Ultimate Hair Towel. I will link this for you. You can get it on Amazon, I believe, but this does not have any of those little fibers in it that a bath towel has. So if if you're using a regular bath towel to dry your hair, stop right now and go get an old t-shirt and just try it. I promise you'll have way less tangles in your hair, and you don't want to make more frizz and breakage. If you've just washed your hair and you're trying to style it, it can just make a bigger mess, and then you're trying to pull your stylers through your hair and you have tangles and stuff, or you feel like you need more conditioner or leave-in conditioner. So highly recommend this. It makes a world of difference, and it's so worth it to get the hair repair towel because look how big it is. Like, it's huge. I use a cotton t-shirt though forever. That will do until you can get one of these, but those of course are a little bit smaller and harder to tie on your head, so that's why I like that towel. Another cause of tangles and frizz is actual friction on your hair. So if you're just gonna be lounging around your house, if you're sitting on your couch or you're taking a nap in your bed, I highly recommend putting your hair up in a pineapple, because as you can see, when your curls are against any type of fabric that could be making frizz and just rubbing against your curls, it just makes a mess. So if I'm gonna be sitting around, I like to put my hair up in a pineapple, or I just try to, avoid it from being on the couch. Also, if you have cloth seats in your car, the headrest can also be causing tangles and frizz on the back of your head. If you do a lot of driving, if you commute, you could always lay a silk scarf over it or anything silk over it. Mine are leather though, luckily, so I don't have that problem, but it can be a major cause of tangles in your hair. Another major cause, and this happens mostly in the winter, is friction against your clothes. I get this all the time, especially if I wear like a pea coat or sweaters or scarves or anything like that. I get so many tangles, and the underside of my hair in the winter pretty much always stays frizzy, and it's really hard to prevent that because it's rubbing against the nape of your neck, especially if you're wearing scarves and stuff. So if I'm gonna wear a scarf, I like to put my hair up in a bun because then you can see it better anyways, and I don't like having a lot around my neck. But pea coats always do this for me. It's just the texture of them. You could put a scarf like on the inside of it, or find like a coat or something that has silk on the inside. That would be ideal. That's a really good invention actually. It's something that does have silk on just the inner collar. But anything with that collar or a sweater material is gonna rub against the underside of your hair. Or if you have like a purse or a bag, like my work bag sometimes will cause tangles right here just from carrying it on my shoulder. So those are just some things to keep in mind during the day to help prevent frizz and friction on your hair that causes tangles. So a little tip that I wanted to share for how to actually reduce that friction and help moisturize the underside of your hair is to use like a hair oil. This is a new one from Diva Curl. This is their High Shine, a multi-benefit oil, shine and finish. And this is a curly girl method friendly oil. And by that, I mean there's no silicones or harsh ingredients in this, are not gonna build up or weigh down your curls. So I do really like this. It is in a spray form, but sometimes I just spray a little bit on my fingers, and I'll show you how I do it. I just apply a little bit to the underside of my curls, and it just adds a little bit more moisture, and it almost creates a little barrier to where these curls underneath are going to be protected from whatever clothes that I'm wearing, or just from any friction that could be happening on the underside. And it makes a big difference. It just softens them, makes them feel less dry, because like I said, if your hair is dry, it's more likely to get tangled up underneath of there. If you do have dry hair, you could also apply a little extra leave-in conditioner or a hair mask underneath and just leave a little bit in. So the last cause of tangles is in your sleep. This is a big one. If you have been around or seen any videos on curly hair on YouTube, then you know we all love to sleep in our hair up in a pineapple or in a satin bonnet, on a satin pillowcase. It will change your life. If you have not tried it, highly recommend it. You can get silk pillowcases on Amazon. You can find ones that are cheaper, like satin material. But I highly recommend at least sleeping in a bonnet if you don't want to get the pillowcase. This is great for traveling when you don't have a silk pillowcase like in hotels. But I found this, I think on Amazon or something. They're really cheap. It's made out of silk. And this also helps to kind of plop my hair on top of my head at night. So when I wake up, I have pretty good volume. Protects my curls so that I don't get them like all tangled up and cause frizz and stuff. So it protects my style at night, especially if you're rolling around, if you're a heavy sleeper. I also sweat sometimes on my neck, so I don't want to ruin my curls. So I just love having it up out of my way when I'm sleeping, and this prevents so many tangles, and it really makes my morning a lot faster with getting ready. I don't have to sit there and detangle and refresh my hair like crazy. So this is my silk pillowcase. I will put the link down below of where you can get it, but this is from My Case Silk, and so it's the actual silk material, so soft. I have the white one here, but you can see on my pillow, this doesn't cause any friction or frizz against your hair, so you can totally lay on this directly. If you're taking a nap or anything like that, it's not gonna mess up your hair when you're sleeping. It makes such a difference. And my fiance Nathan actually loves the silk and satin pillowcases, so he's using my other one right now on his pillow, because he just says it sleeps so much better because it feels cooler and stuff. So I actually also sleep with the bonnet and the silk pillowcase because I like having my hair up in the bonnet because, like I said, it helps with volume. And even on the silk pillowcase, even though it doesn't cause like friction or frizz or anything, it still like kind of smushes my curls just from where I'm laying on them. So that's why I like sleeping on both, but one or the other will do fine if you just want to get one. That is all the tips and the causes I had for tangles. I would love to hear yours in the comments down below. Be sure to check out the rest of this series. I talk all about how to take care of your curls if you're just getting started. I try to break it down really easy to follow steps, and I try to cover things that oftentimes get skipped over in videos and you might not understand. So if there's anything you are struggling with, let me know your biggest hair struggle in the comments down below and I'll do another video on this. I'll be sure to get back to every single one of you. And you can follow me over on Instagram where I share tons of curly hair reviews. You can see me checking in when I'm testing out products and more tips and stuff over there. So if you're interested in any of the products that I use and want to see a summary of these tips, you can head over to the blog post that goes with this video. That'll be the first link down below if you want to check that out. If you have not already subscribed to my channel here, I would love to have you join my YouTube family. I post curly hair videos like this, also some easy beginner makeup videos, as well as some home decor and organization videos here or there. So thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye everyone.